Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. This is why we're talking about habits. They play a huge part of our lives. Many of us just don't realize the extent. And once we realize the power of habits, we gain the power to improve every aspect and outcome of our lives. Habits are a part of everything we do. When you woke up this morning, what did you do first? Did you hop in the shower, get on your social media, check your Facebook and Instagram status, grab a biscuit and tea from the kitchen? Did you brush your teeth before or after you towel off? Tie your left shoe or right shoe first? Which route did you take to college or to work? What did you eat for lunch? When you got home, did you put on your sneakers and go for a run? Or pour yourself a drink and eat dinner in front of the television? A leading thinker of the late 19th century, William James, once wrote, "All our life, so far as it has definite form, is but a mass of habits." Most of the choices we make each day may feel like products of well-considered decision-making, but they're fundamentally not. They're habits. And though each habit means relatively little on its own, over time, the meals we order, what we say to our parents each night, whether we save or spend, how often we exercise, and the way we organize our thoughts and work routines have enormous impact on our health, productivity, financial security, and fundamentally our happiness. One paper published by Duke University researcher in 2006 found that more than 40% of the actions people perform each day weren't actually decisions, but habits. Philosophers and thinkers for hundreds of years have tried to understand why habits exist, but only in the past 3 decades have scientists and marketers really begun understanding how habits work, and more importantly for our purpose today, how they can change. In the 1990s, a group of researchers at MIT were studying mice to learn more about how habits are formed in the brain. The mice had to find their way to a piece of chocolate that had been placed at the end of a T-shaped maze. Using specialized equipment, the researchers could monitor the brain activity of the mice as they sniffed their way to the chocolate. When the mice were first put in the maze, the brain activity spiked. They could smell the chocolate and they would immediately begin searching for it. When the researchers repeated the experiment, they noticed something very interesting. As the mice gradually learned where the chocolate was and memorized how to get there, go straight, turn left, their brain activity decreased. This process of turning a sequence of actions into an automatic routine is known as chunking. And it forms the basis of all habit formation. Its evolutionary role is clear and crucial. It allows the brain to save energy and perform common tasks efficiently. Our brains are constantly looking for ways to save effort, to save energy. An efficient brain requires much less work, which makes for a smaller head, which makes childbirth easier and therefore causes fewer infant and mother deaths. An efficient brain also allows us to stop thinking constantly about basic behaviors, such as walking and choosing what to eat, so we can devote mental energy to invest in spheres, irrigation systems, telephones, iPhones, and the internet, airplanes, video games, and everything else that we do is so amazing. Hence, even a complicated act that demands concentration at first, like finding a piece of chocolate in a maze or driving a car or a scooter, eventually becomes an effortless habit. When you ask a professional athlete how they made the shot that won the game, we routinely hear them refer to their endless practice and training. In fact, performance coaches routinely tell their athlete clients not to think when they perform an act. When you pause to think, you may react a millisecond too slow and are more prone to make mistakes. For example, when a basketball player shoots, he should not be thinking about how he is taking the shot, but rather to just take the shot. For me professionally, as a physician, as a cardiologist, the same performance thinking applies. When a patient has a cardiac arrest, immediately you start going through your checklist of actions. The more automatic the process, the better the outcome. In general, any habit can be broken down into a three-part loop. First, you sense an external cue. Say your alarm clock rings. This creates an overall spike in your brain activity as your brain decides which habit is appropriate for the situation. Next comes the routine, meaning the activity you're used to performing when faced with that particular cue. The clock goes off, you march into the bathroom and you brush your teeth. Your brain is virtually on autopilot. Finally, you get a reward, a feeling of success, and in this case, a minty fresh tingling sensation in your mouth. Your overall brain activity increases again as your brain registers the successful completion of the activity and reinforces the link between the cue and the routine. Habits are incredibly resilient. In some cases, people with extensive brain damage can still adhere to their old habits. Just consider Eugene, a man with severe brain damage caused by viral encephalitis. Essentially, a virus attacked his brain and damaged the part of the brain responsible for memory. And he effectively lost all working memory. He would have the same conversation multiple times a day. He would introduce himself to people he met only 30 minutes prior.